Facebook ads are the most efficient way to get new customers in 2024 for your D2C brand, but only if you do it correctly. So today I will show you the 5 biggest mistakes that cost you real money and also opportunity cost that you need to avoid. And these really came from around 20 million in ad spend from 2023 from our clients, and we found them. Some of them we made and some of them we saw in other accounts that we audited. And these are like 5 things you need to avoid at all costs, because they not only cost you real revenue, but also the opportunity cost, meaning the revenue that you can make if you avoid them. In this video, I will walk you through step by step so you not only avoid them, but also solve them and surpass, because they not only include the solution, but the best way to deal with them at the current time. So I'm really excited to hop right in. I hope you too. And I would say we start right away with the first one. And the first one is micromanaging the account. And this often leads to unstable and poor performance, because sometimes I get people asking me, hey Pascal, shouldn't I exclude like this placement, or shouldn't I regulate the budget down to like $10 a day and set up like 20 different ad sets? And I tell them, no, don't do this, because it just leads to unstable and poor performance overall. There is no account that really scales with micromanagement. Granted, when we spend like 30-40K, every little detail matters, and we really try to dial it in as closely as we can. But in the beginning, if you're spending less than 3 to 5K per day, we get to that later, but just make sure you lean into the machine learning, lean into the platform, and actually let it decide where it needs to spend money on Facebook or Instagram, what audience it should spend. Of course, you can give some interest, for example, but don't use like engaged shoppers and then narrow it down to like only interested in fashion products and everything like that. This hyper targeting, this micromanagement just doesn't work anymore in 2024. So leave it usually open, set a budget that is enough for everything so you can exit the learning phase ideally. But never do like this $5 a day, $10 a day budgets, and then you exclude only the Facebook placements, or you just run it on Instagram stories or anything like that. In 99% of the cases, it's not worth it, and it just destroys your performance or leads to higher advertising costs. Your CPM goes up because you're micromanaging it in such a specific way. So don't do that. Lean into machine learning and focus on your best assets. The second thing is no advanced matching. And this is a big one, and I see this in so many accounts. I see this in small accounts as well as really big accounts, and people just don't get it. And I will show you one of the screenshots here so you know where it is. But essentially, you go to the events manager, and then there's a tab called, in the settings, there's a tab called automatic advanced matching, and you need to turn on all of these options because it just pushes back more data. If you don't do it, Facebook is like blind on one eye, like it has issues to track, and this is a huge thing. Like, data is king, and you need to be pushing back as much as you can. And the reason why you need to do this is that if you don't have all of this data, the chances are that you don't have the proper optimization that you could have. Like, you don't have the best optimization, and your ads need longer to optimize, and also your account doesn't see and learn as much as it could. And this is really, really a big one. I see this with small and with big accounts. Definitely do this. Super easy to turn on. Events manager, settings, automatic advanced matching. Turn on all of these 7 or 8 points, and then you're good on those. Definitely check this out right after this video. Third thing is poor creatives. And this is such a big one. I can't just put it here and leave it at that. It really is a big one, and it deserves its own video. But essentially, poor creatives, and creatives itself is the most important thing in your ad account. Outside of the ad account, you have many more things like your offer and your conversion rate and your page optimization, anything like that. But in the ad account, there's nothing more important than your creative, how you position your product, how you position your brands, and how you develop your marketing messaging. And that's why we are so big on being very specific in the ads, having proper targeting, really knowing who we're selling to, and being very, very specific in the ads. Because the more specific you are in your ads, the more relevant they are to a certain target group. And this is what you need to be. You need to be really relevant, and you need to provide them with an amazing customer experience, because Facebook loves that. Like, when people like your ad, when people love watching your ad, you actually get rewarded with cheaper advertising costs. So definitely make sure that you create this cut through the noise ads, because this is really important. all of the other people, or like most of the other advertisers and agencies, they use templated work or they copy it from other brands, and it just lacks this authenticity, or it just lacks this really great marketing that connects with people. So do it properly, research your brand, and make sure you create amazing, outstanding advertising and creatives, and I will promise you, you will see much, much better results. So never settle for less on the creative side, and test a lot, like test a shit lot. If you can invest time and money into this, do it and overdo it with that. It's so important. Then fourth step, too many assets. I see this so often, and also again in big as well as in small accounts. The problem is, Facebook in 2024, it goes so heavy on AI and machine learning that you need to lean into it. My Meta rep always told me when I visited them, for example, in London or so, lean into machine learning. And I told him, yes, we need to have some control. And I personally think it needs to have the right balance between advertiser control and machine learning from Facebook. There are so many great developments on the Facebook side with its AI and the ASC campaigns and anything, but you need to provide them with the best assets and have a structure in your ad account that works for your brand. Don't do just one campaign, but what you shouldn't do definitely is having like 10, 20 campaigns and then have like 50 assets in there and have all your ads like separated and everything like that. This is not the way to go. To be quite frank, like especially if you spend less than 3,000 per day, what I really recommend is that you have like one great testing campaign. I love to use an ABO builder testing campaign. Then you have a scaling campaign where you import all of the best ads into that spends most of the money. You can maybe have a second scaling campaign if you want, but at this spend level, you usually are good with just one scaling campaign. So you have one testing campaign, one scaling campaign, and then you can add one retargeting campaign, and then you're mostly good. Like that's it. You don't need much more than that. And this can really scale to hundreds of thousands in spend. And I would recommend you that, because the thing is, the more money you spend on a few key assets, the better they learn and the better the algorithm gets and finds people that you're looking for. So don't just spread out your creatives 100-fold or anything. Just put together, take your best assets, focus them on a few key campaigns. The optimization will go up of the ad account. Facebook learns who you're targeting, and you will see much better CPAs and also acquire many, many more customers. So definitely do this. Alright, and now we're at the last mistake, unclear targets. And this is such a big one. I see this with so many business owners, I see it with CMOs, anywhere. People just don't know where they would like to go. Like maybe they have some revenue goal that they need to hit, but their real like why or what they do isn't really, there's no fundamentals to that, and there's no really reasoning behind that. So what you need to do is, when you start advertising a new account and when you work with a new brand, or you are a brand and you need to grow by a lot in 2024, you need to be very, very clear on what you want, because this not only produces growth plateaus that you can't grow higher, but it also has high costs if you mismanage and you overspend. And on the other side, it has opportunity costs because you don't scale as fast or as high as you could while staying safe. So the solution to that is that you specify your business goal. In a nutshell, there are like two ways to go. Either it's like grow or die, so you invest all of your profits into growth, or you do like the more so the efficient kind of thing, and you want to have some profits left and you want to live from your business and everything like that, which is totally fine. Both ways are totally fine. You just need to be clear in what you want to do. So you specify that in the first step, and then you calculate your targets with your profit in mind. If you want to acquire customers at break even and you grow or die, or even like lose on the first order, but then you make it back with your lifetime value, that's fine. If you want to have like 10, 20, 30% profit with your e-commerce business, that's also fine. But you need to calculate your targets, like your CPA goal, your ROAS goal, your CAC goal, anything like that, and specify them on the channel. Especially the brands working that 7- and 8-figure brands, I would recommend spending most of the money on Meta and a bit on Google, and that's usually enough until you hit like multiple 8 figures, unless your main channel is somewhere else, but then you need to do the same thing. So specify the targets for each individual channel and live by them. This is the most important thing, because people and agencies, they sometimes calculate a ROAS target that they need to hit, and then they're just away from the profit and anything, and then they either overspend and they just burn your money, or they underspend and you grow like over a year what you could grow in like 2 months. So it's so important to specify the business goal, then you calculate the targets, and then you live by them. You die by them. And this is really what you need to do. So this is essentially it. I hope these mistakes were helpful for you, and I hope, well, it would be good if you spotted 1 or 2 of them in your business so you can fix them. And sure, I would run through each of them, analyze your business. I think second step is a very easy one. The first one as well. Fourth and the fifth too, and the third one is really that needs a lot of work to do, but the other ones you can implement like right away and you will soar in 2024. I can promise you that. Also on the third step, there will be more videos on this channel to like creatives and how to structure them and how to run them properly. So I'm excited about those. And if you have any other like input on the videos and you would like to know something about Facebook ads, please let me know in the comments and I will try to make a video about it. And that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one and see you soon.